श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति मां श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माता दी श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः।
It's a great day. Today is a great day of Diwali. That means today is a great day. Lights of your heart together to make a greater light for the world to move in a proper direction. It's a day of great joy. And those who join in this are spreading also great joy. But the problems are there, as they say. But for us, there is no problem because there is no darkness. We don't see any darkness anywhere. We see lights and lights and lights. Then what is the thing missing? Missing is our sincerity. We have to be very sincere with ourselves. Because it is not just a borrowed love or a borrowed joy, but it is from within the source. It's flowing, flowing and flowing. So that is to be awakened. And that love should flow. And our small petty things like jealousies and competitions and all those things which spoil us must be washed away. And it can be washed if your heart is full of love. Today is a day of spreading love, light of love, so that everybody feels enlightened and happy and forgets his petty problems. I am happy that you have been able to get some hall. It's all luck that we got it. People were so much worried about getting a hall. But it had just happened. So we should know also that our destinies are also guided and looked after. We are already blessed people. There's no doubt about it. And we should not worry about small things and small matters. It will all work out very well, you will see. If you just leave it to your destiny, which is very high, very great, with this your own destiny, you will go very far. This is the promise of Diwali to you all, that you will reach highest and the noblest way of life. Every word I say will be there to prove what I say is there. Whatever petty problems you have, they'll all be washed off. All these are the messages from the divine. You don't have to worry about petty things, about money, about jobs. That's not your job. Your destiny will work it out. You have a promise that you'll be looked after. I hope you believe in that promise and are joyous in the highest way. I bless you all from my heart, all of you, for a very happy and prosperous Diwali. Thank you very much. It's all right. I'm overjoyed really today to see you all here to celebrate the Diwali Puja. We were to be in Portugal, but it was not so, so we are here. Diwali Puja is a very small puja but extremely significant. Firstly, in Diwali, the first day they buy something for the family. You can maybe some cooking utensil, could be an ornament for the wife or something like that. Because that is the day of housewife. And that day is to be celebrated as the housewife's, I should say, homage to her. As a result, you know, in India, even now, housewives are very much respected. Actually, they are respected all over. You'll be amazed that even in the protocol of the government uh, receptions, anywhere, the wife is very important. And where she's sitting, what is her position is very important. Even today, in the most modern and advanced countries also, they have a special respect for the housewife. The housewife may not be educated. She may be a very simple woman. She may not be very modern. There was an experience for me. In London, we had a program where we all were invited, and the head of the delegation, his wife was missing. So they asked me, where is she? Because there's a seat for her, she has to sit there. I said, I don't know, I didn't see her, she must be somewhere here. So just before starting, I went to the washing room, and I was surprised she was sitting in the waiting room there. I said, what are you doing here? They are all waiting for you outside. So she said, they asked me to sit here. So I went out and I told them, now she's sitting there, why don't you call her to sit in her seat? Is she the wife? I said, yes, of course. She's the wife. We thought she was some secretary. I said, what made you think? This lady had, you see, very modern ideas, wearing a very modern, slick dress and all that. And everybody thought this lady must be the secretary at the most. So they made her sit in the waiting room. You see, so it's expected of a housewife to be decently dressed, honorably dressed, and not to dress up like a secretary or somebody who is just in the office, because she's regarded as the highest, whether you like it or not. But she had permed her hair and she has been to a very expensive place for all decorations and everything. And poor thing, when she arrived, they put her in the waiting room near the bathroom. That's what it is. So, for a housewife, she is the dignity of the household. Not only that, but she is responsible for the complete culture of that country. Complete culture of that country. They represent the culture. Like in India nowadays, they have started in the films showing all kinds of funny dresses. But I haven't seen any housewife wearing that. I haven't seen anybody. It's not in reality, it's only in the film. Because the society is so strong. And the housewife is supposed to be a decent person. She has to be decent, she has to be very dignified, and she has to behave in a dignified manner. On the contrary, I would say we had a prime minister called Lal Bahadur Shastri. His wife was absolutely uneducated because Shastriji went to jail and she couldn't take her education. Very simple, ordinary woman. And she went to France. That time there was this Mr. de Gaulle, he was the president. And his wife was another very simple woman. So Shastriji told her that you are not to cry when you are leaving Mrs. de Gaulle. Now you become great friends. God knows, she didn't know French and she didn't know Hindi. But somehow both of them became great friends on the level of housewives. And when he warned her not to cry, what happened that they started crying when they had to leave. So Shastriji said, I had told you not to cry. He said, it is she, this French lady, started crying. What can I do? I had to cry with her. So, you see, it's a kind of a great collectivity of housewives that has to work out. They have common problems. They have to face their children. They have to look after the household, everything. I mean, there are so many common problems with the housewives. And the housewife also knows all little things. You see, men, at least in India, don't know much because they live in the air, I think. So the women have more sense in this respect for small things. They are quite aware. It's very interesting sometimes. The men commit mistakes of such a great humor because they do not deal with day-to-day life, with all the problems of daily life. On one side, the woman housewife has to deal with the daily life. On the other side, she has to look after her family, her children. Also, poor thing, she is responsible for the society. She has to maintain the society. In a country where women are sensible and are matured, you will be amazed that they become extremely good families, good societies, and good children. That's why I must say India is a very good country of very good society. This is come out of the housewives, the Griha Lakshmis of the house who have done all the work that is important as far as the culture is concerned. This kind of thing is very much in India. And with that, what you find that the people respect the housewives. So respecting the housewife is the most important thing in our Sahaj culture. But that doesn't mean that the women should try to dominate and trouble and fight with the husbands. But it means a very important position in the society of a housewife. She is treated as a something like a Devi only. But she too has to be a Devi. If you treat her like a doormat, then children will never respect her. If you don't pay proper respect to her, the children won't respect the mother, and there will be no impact of the mother on the children. As a result, the children get wayward. And in the societies or in the countries where the mother is not respected, you will find the children become extremely dominating, hot-tempered, and horribly uncollected. So it's very important that on this day we call it Dhanteras, the 13th day. You have to buy something for your wife and you have to give her something as a present. At least you should buy a little pot or something that can be used in the kitchen to show your respect to her. In the families where mother is not respected, children become extremely troublesome and the whole their family also suffers. Wherever they are married, whatever happens to them. Men have to realize it is their mistake that they have never respected their wife as they should have. In the presence of the children, if they shout, in the presence of the children, if they don't show any respect, the children can never respect the mother. It is something, a criminal thing to do to women who are in the household, doing all the work for you, looking after you, your family, not demanding anything. Only if you want to understand how they can be troublesome is see them in the politics. When they go in the politics, they put all men upside down. And one woman can put all of them in their proper senses. Because their field is their house, their family. If they are not respected in the family, they get out of the family and behave in such manner that you can't imagine. Though she has to bear a lot, she has to suffer a lot. But in the family, she must be respected. That's a very, very important message of Graha Lakshmi. Then the second day is the one where this horrible Rakshasa called as Narakasura was killed. Always, all killing is done with the power of the Shakti. This Narakasura was the fellow who had tortured so many people and had done lots of cunning stuff. He was a very treacherous, cunning man, and it was impossible to kill him. But then, somehow or other, with the advent of a special power, that this Narakasura was killed. That was the another day, fourth day, where Narakasura was killed. They say that when he was killed, the door of hell was closed. So people should take their baths early in the morning. But I am of the opinion that day if the door is open, better not take bath. Be in your beds till this fellow is put fully into Nark. You should not bother about him. Nark means hell. And from the hell, they extracted him and killed him. The last one is the best, where they have the meeting of Sri Rama and his brother Bharat. Sri Rama went to jail obeying his father. And for 14 years, he was not a jail, but in a, say, he went in the forest. It was a kind of a jail only because he was living in the palaces and he was sent in the uh, forest by his father and his daughter-in-law, also means his own wife, and also the brother. They went together into great sufferings. And you know the whole story of Ramayana. The child uh, that lived in the palaces had to go in the forest and live in terrible conditions when he was to be the king. Was too much. But Sita went with him and she supported him. And ultimately, it so happened that uh, Ravana came and took away Sita. Sri Rama fought Ravana, killed him, and brought back his wife. But when they came back to their own capital in Ayodhya, there was a big jubilation, and Bharat, his brother, he was very much attached to his brother, and he ruled that country with the paduka, they say, is the kind of sandalwood uh, chappals they use of his brother. He put it on the throne and ruled. So that is how the Bharat Milan, the meeting of Bharat with Sri Rama, is celebrated, and that was the time he was crowned also as the king. So it is long time back, thousands of years back, this thing has happened. That jubilation is very significant, that the right king gets his own throne and he rules. and all injustice and all kind of atrocities he has gone through has to be completely finished from his life. And that's why Diwali is important. So the last day they worship the goddess Lakshmi because it is her blessings that brought forth all these beautiful meetings. And that's why they worship her Lakshmi as such. But there are 9 types of Lakshmis within us, which I think I have told you sometimes back. Now, in that Lakshmi Puja is this, that you worship the Lakshmi herself. It doesn't mean money, not at all. To worship money is wrong. But what it means that Lakshmi is the money which is with us, or the whatever prosperity with us, should be very carefully spent because she is very mobile and the money can slip out. On the contrary, you should not be at all miserly. Miserly people, Lakshmi is not happy. But if you want to spend, you must spend it in the right way, otherwise the money is spent in the wrong way. Now when the Lakshmi was created, you must be knowing out of the churning of the sea she came out. She had 4 hands. One hand was to give. She is generous. She gives. Like this, she gives, and with one hand she blesses. These are her 2 hands. One is to give and to bless the person. Very important it is that when you give to somebody something, you forget about it. And you bless that person. Not only you give money, but also you bless that person. The other 2 hands have got 2 lotuses of pink color. Pink is the color of love. And a person who has money should have a house which is full of love. Any guest who comes in the house should be respected. He should be treated just like God. In India, you have noticed how they think foreigners. Foreigners means God to them. Here, foreigner is a bad word, but in India is very respectable. If you are a foreigner, means you are God. How they have looked after you, you know that in India. This is the reason. This is the basic culture of India. That anybody who is a guest, he may be anything. If he is a guest, then he is to be treated like God. In the other countries, it's just the other way around, you know. If you are a foreigner, then people think it's not even proper to talk to that person. I don't know how the mentality is like that. But not in Sahaja. Sahajogis are not like that. They treat the guests very well, I have heard. They look after each other and they are beautifully collective. So this is what is the meaning of the lotus is a house full of love. Like a beetle which has got even thorns. When it comes to the lotus open out and the beetle goes inside and sleeps very nicely and comfortably. Even the beetle, undisturbed. That is how one should treat if you have money. But here what I find in the world now, if you have money, you become yourself like a beetle. It's so full of thorns and horrible ideas, so insulting, and think no end of yourself. It's just surprising is that money we should give them the form of Lakshmi, Lakshmi Swarupa, they become like devils. And the way they treat other people is even worse than that. So these are the significance of the form of the goddess. But the best is she's just standing on the lotus. That means no pressure on anyone. She exists on her own, no pressure. She doesn't put any pressure on anyone. Just on her own she stands. And all her weight and all balanced on her own dignity. This is the way a Lakshmi should be. And that's how, if it is, when happens, in the countries where people are having now financial crisis and all kinds of crisis, things will improve. People will enjoy. They don't enjoy their money, nothing. They don't enjoy. This is just aggressiveness and also funny ideas of having something very expensive things and what you call the designers. Now, I think these are designers are anti-Lakshmi, that they have come because they are extracting all your money nicely and all your money goes to waste. If not that, then people take to womanizing or to drinking, such wasteful habits. They don't do anything which we can call as really the blessing of the Lakshmi. So one has to remember that when you want to give something to someone, do it with the full heart. Such full heart that it forms that Lakshmi Prasada. See, that should happen. Otherwise, what's the use of giving presents to anyone? See, they are very funny people, who give presents out of a very narrow outlook. But they try to give presents. Like in Japan, if you go, they'll give you such a big present. You go on opening and opening and opening and opening till you come to a point where you'll get a matchbox. In the matchbox, inside the matchbox, you will take two, you can say two doll-like things made out of small little these matchsticks. Start looking at what this is, why it's such a big design. And very surprised. But they are very simple people otherwise, very simple. When we went there, they told us, wherever we went, even in a shop, when it was raining, they would give us a present. I said, what is this? Why are they giving us a present like this? So the lady who was translating, she said, they think you are from a royal family. I said, what makes them feel you are from a royal family? Because you don't go to hairdresser. I said, really? Yes. In Japan, royal family people never go to a hairdresser. I said, I didn't know this, that they don't go to the hairdresser. That's why they think you are from the royal family. Just imagine what ideas people have about hairdressing and all that. But in India, these places, a woman must be properly combed her hair. She shouldn't look like a hippie going around, because we have many people who still believe in a kind of a hippieism and they wear their headdress like that. Now, women plays a very big part in the society, as I told you. Whatever way she wears, where she goes about, also the children pick up much more than from the mother, than from the father. Sometimes could be much more from the father also, but actually all the refined things are picked up from the mother. So it is more for the ladies to understand how they dress up, how they live. Nowadays, I went to London and I asked for Indian Sajogini, what is the fashion now? So she said Jiprea in Marathi. Jiprea means if you put your hair like this. See, in India, if we have hair like this, the mother will say, now remove your jipreas. Because if you put like that hair, your eyes can become squinty. But that's the fashion to put the hair like this, you see, very much, sometimes on the eyes also. So that's a jipra fashion. And this now is quite common, I find everybody, dignified ladies also, except for Mrs. Thatcher, everybody puts on this kind of a thing. I don't know how Mrs. Thatcher has escaped it. But anybody who does anything, that should not be followed by women. It's very slavish. Because this is the fashion, that's why they do it. That's the fashion, so they do it. It's absolutely stupid to do that way and to play into the hands of these people who make fashions. Because you are independent. You must stand on your own character. You must stand on your own understanding of things. Instead of ruining your faces, you should try to improve them by your dignity, by your understanding. Now, it's more on the women. I'm sorry to say, Lakshmi Puja is more on the women, that what they have to understand, what they have to be, how they should be. I have always told you that it's necessary for a woman to be dignified, very much more than the man. Man can be stupid, doesn't matter, you see, doesn't matter so much. But women have to be dignified and sensible. And men, as it is, don't know much, as you know that very well. Poor things, they are they are educated only in the universities. But as far as the practical side is concerned, they don't know anything. So one should not uh, feel bad about it. I mean, it's very enjoyable to see the way men make mistake and then they go on saying, no, I know this, I know that, and they don't know anything. So, but man will never say, I don't know. You see, that's his character. It's all right. You must know that he doesn't mean it because he really doesn't know anything. Also, in art, I don't think men know much about art. And also, their one side is missing is aesthetics. Poor things, they make one type of clothes wear all throughout. Just one type of dresses they will make, and that they'll make and wear throughout. They don't have any demand. But women are artistic. And if our Indian women give up wearing saris and take to jeans, where will the villagers go? Because they live with the saris that they make during holidays and things like that. So in India, it's not possible to introduce all these dresses. In the school, maybe. But later on, they all give up because they like saris. So the saris are still on and will be on because it's so artistic, it's so beautiful. One sari doesn't look like another sari. So the idea of beauty and the idea of art, much more with the women, not with the men. And so one should see that if men don't know, doesn't matter, but you make your houses absolutely artistic. Make it comfortable, like the lotus, as I said. That should be such. But some of the ladies can be very much like Hitler, in the household, very dictating. This should be like this, that should be like that, making the life of men absolutely miserable. I've known a person who used to carry a newspaper in his house. So I said, why do you carry it all the time? He said, whenever I sit, I put the newspaper first and then I sit. Why? Because if it is spoiled a little bit, my wife will shout at me. I said, why? Because she doesn't like anything to be spoiled. So she's so particular. I carry a newspaper always with me. Wherever I have to sit, I put the newspaper. I said, it's too much. He said, you will also have to do that, I tell you. So very particular about uh, the whole house that it's impossible to live in that house is even worse than a hospital. So some women can be very particular about that and very methodical. Could be. But normally, women should be very loving and extremely accommodating and also being friendly with all the family members, with everyone. It's very important that our family is so big. We have a very large family, so many brothers and sisters, and everybody one better than the other. It is so remarkable that everybody has a different type of a perfume, I think, or a kind of a fragrance that shows an individual personality in them. Despite that, they are also nice and so good, so accommodating, and so much enjoying that it's remarkable how people live together. Especially in Russia, I found the women are very adaptable and very humorous. And they were making fun of everything and enjoying life. Very surprising, we had taken presents for them. But we had taken for about 2,000 people, but there were 16,000 people. So how could we give these presents? So the women took out their chains and they said, all right, we'll give it to men. All right. We'll give them our ear tops. All right. And they were making fun of men who were feeling bad that they couldn't get anything. Such fun, such understanding. Because they are not so money oriented, I think. And they are very spiritual minded. So a spiritual woman wouldn't bother about other things like this and will keep a dignity of her own and will show by her every gesture that she is spiritual. This is something so sweet. As I was telling you, on one side, sometimes you feel little different. Say, I said it about Japan. But in the same Japan, when I went there, I liked their tiles very much. So they were building up something. I liked the design of their tiles. So I said, can I take one from here? No, no, doesn't matter. We'll send it to your ship. And on the ship, a big load of those tiles arrived. And the captain asked me, now what are we to do? I said, how did you get it? He said, they brought it to you, all kinds of varieties of those tiles. Can you imagine? So on one side, it is a way of expression. On the other side is different. So one should understand also, when somebody gives you something, you should understand what is the significance of that and not to feel bad about it. The significance of that could be very much great. You may not understand. So better to ask why they have given you these things. That is what we call auspiciousness. One of the great qualities of the Lakshmi is that it should be auspicious. Whatever you give should be auspicious. Like sometimes I've seen little children out of mischief will bring a lizard and try to give you. I mean, it's very inauspicious to do that. But they are not told that it's inauspicious. So they are doing like that. They are to be told it's not auspicious. It will not please the goddess. So that has to be understood very well, that you should not try to insult the Lakshmi by giving something which is wrong. If you don't know, you should find out and do it properly. In this way, this is the Diwali thing. But the greatest message of this is that the kingdom was given to Sri Rama. Sri Rama was the embodiment of justice and fair play. And this was given to him. In the same way, we have to feel that our expression of gratitude, our expression of love should be such that it should be given to a person who is a symbol of such greatness like Sri Ram. It's a very, very subtle thing one should try to understand. If you don't want to give, you should not give. But if you want to give, then you must give something which is worth the person whom you are giving. That is one of the lessons you should have about Sri Rama's temperament. When he went into the village and he found there was an old woman, and this old woman had all her teeth out practically, and she was from the Aboriginal, and she gave him some, we call them bear, is something like, bear ko kya kehte hain? It's a kind of a fruit, small fruits. And she said, see, I've tasted all of them, and all of them are very sweet, because you should not have something which is not sweet. So I've tasted them with my tooth. I've put my tooth onto them and I've tasted. So please have. Immediately he took it. But his brother Lakshmana got very angry. That is very inauspicious in India. If you have put something in the mouth and then you want to give to somebody is something which is not to be done. But Sri Rama said, I've never eaten such beautiful fruits. They are the most beautiful fruits I have eaten. So his wife says, also give me some after all. I am your half, this thing, you must give me. So Sri Rama gave her some. She said, wow, what a thing, it is tremendous. She ate it, and then the Lakshmana says, give me also, sister-in-law. She said, just now you were saying all kinds of things against this lady. Why do you want to have it? He said, now please forgive me, give me. So, see, it shows that Sri Rama could see her love, her vibrations in those fruits that she had offered. And he could appreciate to that extent that he gave it to his wife, and the wife also joined hands with it. This is what it is, that whatever you do it with love. If you do it with love, you will be able to make it auspicious. But if there's no love, you are just doing for some purpose, then it is useless. So this is what is there for giving. Giving to the person like Sri Ram and to such a great incarnation. She just thought of her love and she gave it to him. In the same way, you have to be very simple, simple-hearted, and then you will know what is the best to be done. So today is actually the Diwali is over, and I want to wish you again and again a happy Diwali and a very prosperous New Year. May God bless you all. Huh? The same Lakshmi becomes Mahalakshmi. That is when you understand the value of money. And when you are saturated and you are fed up, from inside you get detached, then a new form of Lakshmi comes forward, that is Mahalakshmi. That's the power which takes you higher and higher, which is the spiritual awakening. You have seen in all the countries which are very rich, this desire started, that they should seek the truth, they should find out the truth. And that's how you are all here. That means Mahalakshmi power started working in you, that you were seeking the truth. And while seeking the truth, you came to Sahaja. So this Mahalakshmi is very important for you also. And you know, Kolhapur, there's a temple of this Mahalakshmi which came out of the Mother Earth. But they themselves didn't know that in that temple why they sang Jogwa. We said that, oh Ambe, awaken. Ambe is the Kundalini. So why in Mahalakshmi's temple they sang? You can understand that why in that temple they started singing the song of Jogwa by which to raise the Kundalini. काय पूजन विशेष नाही त्याला. Today we are going to worship the principle of Mahalakshmi in Belgium. Belgium has a speciality that it creates glass bangles for the mother. That is the bangles which are used as a beautiful musical accompaniment to the gate, to all the movements of the goddess. It brings a delicacy in a woman and gives a consciousness to the man or the men that there are ladies around. And the ladies are around who are married ladies are very auspicious. And this auspiciousness is the one that is going to bring in this country or in any country whatsoever all the blessings. Also in Sanskrit language, a bangle is called as valaya. And that is the last stage which one has to reach in one's ascent. That means a complete. Also we are having here the puja for Holland, which is the Jala Devata, is the goddess of water. It comes from the word marine, The word Mary, Mariam, all these words come from the word marine. In Holland, as you know, the sea is above the land. We can say that the Guru is sitting at a higher position than the Chela. And his knowledge is channelized into various channels. And all the wealth, the money that is earned out of marine activities flow through the greatness of this ocean. So Dutch people are highly blessed people. They are very tall because the Tatraya is a very tall personality. And if they become conscious of their position, one day Dutch can do a lot in the realm of God's work. But all the trouble in both the countries has come because they have not paid any respect to their Guru, which is the ocean. They exploited and took advantage of the sea, but never realized what the sea means in the religious aspect. The Lakshmi came out of the sea. That is the wealth that has come out of the sea. But the wealth has to be like a Lakshmi. The Lakshmi has a motherly nature. She's a mother. She's a mother. She is standing on a lotus. That means she does not throw her weight anywhere. Like people go and occupy other territories and use them for their own purpose, we'll never give them Lakshmi principle. Only thing that may happen to them is to get some money for the time being. But they say that Lakshmi is chanchal, means she is all the time shifty, and she shifts. Such a Lakshmi is chanchal, is shifty. Lakshmi has got one hand which is giving, like this. Another hand she has got by which she protects people. In two hands she has got pink lotuses. The pink lotus suggests the warmth. A person who has got Lakshmi has to have warmth in his household. He must have in his heart warmth to receive people. A lotus flower receives even a horrible beetle, black beetle, which has got all kinds of thorns in it, and allows it to sleep overnight as a nice guest. In the corona of the lotus, there is beautiful spread of the yellow colored pollen on which this beetle rolls and enjoys the comfort. And the lotus watches the enjoyment of the beetle. It does not get disturbed, it does not get upset, and when the lotus opens out, the beetle just goes away. And the lotus still grows, it doesn't die out. In modern life, we don't want guests. And if some guests come in the house, They dare not even spoil the carpet. We clean the house, we polish all our silver and all our brass, but we don't want even a little rat to come inside. For whom are we doing all this work? There are no children in the house, and the old people are in the old house. Children are in the hostels, and the husband wife are in the divorce case. But they are very particular about their brass being polished. So the whole polish has come outside. So the beauty of lotus flower is that it is all embracing. It's a very motherly principle. It tolerates any kind of nonsense from the beetle. So one of the aspects of Mahalakshmi is Grahalakshmi, is the one who's the housewife. And if this aspect is spoiled, then we cannot have Lakshmi in our house. We cannot have wealth in our house. The Lakshmi will disappear from all such houses where the housewife is not respected or the housewife is not respectable. The another aspect of the Lakshmi Tattva is that she gives protection to some people. That means ashraya, means there are people who are supported by such a person. I do not know how you people run your orphanages here or how you manage your charities. But in India, if a man or a woman gets money beyond a certain point, she will take out at least 1/10 of that money for charities. And she will also have, or he will have, money or any shelter or anything for people who are working for him, ashraya, or working for him. I have seen many people who are rich, but they are extremely beggarish. They have no dignity of any kind. They will come to your house and they may even ask for an empty tin.
An empty tin?
Empty tin, yeah, there are people.
What is empty tin?
Empty can.
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand.
Or else, if you go to their house, they'll give you or offer you something which is left over. So there is no dignity of any kind in this. It's without any self-respect. Because if you have self-respect, how can you behave like this? Then there is another aspect of Lakshmi where she is proud like an elephant. She has a propensity. She is not like a mosquito. I mean, many people think that these days to be mosquitoes is very good, but I think if you have mosquito-like personality, nobody respects you. They all think you must be some sort of a typist or maybe some sort of a person or doing some sort of a menial work or working very hard that you have lost all your weight. So a Lakshmi has to have a gravity. But nowadays, the whole thing is changed. I knew Belgian people long time back. They were all having some propensities. They were rich people. Even the Dutch. But now both the countries have perhaps become poor. So people look like mosquitoes to me.
Dog.
So a person who has got money doesn't jump like a monkey, but walks like an elephant in a dignified manner.
Une manière.
But sometimes I have seen In the West, people walk like horses. In India, we had a wedding and we all ladies were walking in the procession. And we saw one lady in the middle of the whole crowd, just coming up and down like a yo-yo. So we couldn't understand what was this, who is this lady. Then we discovered that one Indian had married an American lady. And when she was walking like a horse between all the Indian women singing. She was walking like a horse, you see. So you have to be like an elephant when you walk. Gajagamini. That's one of the names of the goddess. She walks like an elephant in a swingy way. The reason, you see, also, did you say that?
Yes, Sri Mataji.
And the Kundalini also, you see, doesn't agree very much with the horse movement. Because if you move the Kundalini up and down, she doesn't know where to go.
That's good.
But you see, elephant's walk is left, right, it goes up properly,
Mais la démarche de
keeping the
l'éléphant,
central path. So it's not very, very good to walk in that fashion if you have to establish Sahaja Yoga properly. Now the Mahalakshmi principle comes out of the Lakshmi principle. That is when you have wealth and when you have acted according to the image of the Lakshmi, then the Mahalakshmi principle rises within you. Now the Mahalakshmi Tattva, the principle is that you start thinking only about your spirit. When you are absolutely satisfied with the material wealth, then you start coming to the spirit. It was nice that people were seeking material wealth and had industrial revolution in a way. But as a result of that, you do not find that the greed has gone down. On the contrary, it has increased. And the lust has become so perverted. So we can find very clearly that we have failed the principle of Lakshmi in our societies, in our families, in our governments. So the understanding of spirit is only possible for people who have understood the meaning of Lakshmi principle, first of all. So the purpose of Lakshmi is only fourfold. First is that you have to give. It's not like in the church they will say, all right, you have to give your money, give it to me. It's not that. Because I don't want anything. But you have to be generous by nature and not miserly. Supposing you have one door open, no air will come in. Only the air that is sufficient for the room will be there, and there won't be any entry of new room, new air or more air or any draft inside. But if you open the door, another one, then you will find there will be circulation of air. So by generosity, the circulation starts and you solve your material problem. The another principle which we should follow, one of generosity, another of supporting others, especially among Sahajogis, we should try to help each other. May not be with money, but with moral support. But if you have to support someone with money, you should do it voluntarily without even thinking that you are doing any obligation on that person. Or else you can think that I am doing this just for my own pleasures. The third great quality of the Lakshmi Tattva is that it is respectful to everyone. But we see the other way round everywhere. A person, when he becomes rich, he becomes very arrogant. That's a sign, as we say, of a nawarish, a person who has suddenly got the money and he doesn't know what to do. Supposing somebody is sitting on a donkey and suddenly he gets a Cadillac, then what will happen to him? He won't be able to bear that. So this quality is we have that we should respect others
cette
and
qualité,
we should understand that if we have money, we haven't got everything. For example, in India, a saint is respected higher than anybody else, higher than all the artists, higher than all the painters, higher than all the kings, all the governments. Highest is the saint. So, if you are a rich person, you will be known by your respectful behavior towards everyone. This respectful behavior you can also show to things of others. But such a person would respect the all auspicious things. Like there could be a small monkey nut, but is say vibrated. Should be much more important than the diamond of the same size. So this quality, when it develops in a human being, then we can say the Mahalakshmi principle has started. Now in all of you, Mahalakshmi principle has been awakened. Mahalakshmi resides in the Sushumna Nadi. And Sushumna is developed only up to a point in human beings. It is later on like a bridge built in, is created by Mahalakshmi principle. That means a person who is satisfied, who is in balance, who is dharmic, his ocean becomes desirous of becoming the clouds of this Sushumna Nadi, or the path of Sushumna. This desire creates this path, this bridge of Sushumna within us. Unless and until Mahalakshmi principle is awakened within us, we cannot make the Kundalini pass properly because it will always get lost.